everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jess and today's video is going to be my first Defeat the TBR update for 2024. If my voice goes in and out throughout this video or if the sound is a little bit quiet, I do apologise, but I cannot speak louder than this volume, and this volume is still kind of loud for my throat right now. If you guys don't know, I have kind of posted about it on my community posts, and in my last video that I uploaded I explained that I do have tonsillitis currently, but before this I had a virus and that kind of wiped me out as well. So for the last 2 weeks I have been pretty ill. Also, can someone let me know in the comments below if they want to see the continuing series video that I filmed back in like November that I still haven't finished, I haven't finished reading the books for that I wanted to read in that video. Do you guys want me to edit that video together with like the footage that I have, because I do have quite a lot of footage to make probably like a 10-minute video out of it, but I don't want to really like upload it if I'm not really that happy with it, and honestly I think it's super disjointed, so I'm not sure if I want to upload it or not. Anyway, with everything aside, considering I haven't read anything I don't think for the last 2 weeks of January, I have had a pretty great reading month in my opinion. This is what my book stack is looking like this time round. I always forget to hold the stack for you guys, but here is the stack. Yeah, and also I wanted to say, I don't know if any of you guys follow me on Goodreads, but if you do, then I would say maybe don't follow me on Goodreads, because I'm currently using an app called Fable to track my reading instead of using Goodreads this year, and I'm also just using my spreadsheet. At the beginning of the year we had 85 books on my physical TBR, so we'll see where we get down to by the end of this video. I have purchased 2 books this month and I had 1 pre-order, but the 2 books I purchased classify as gifts because they were brought using a gift card. These are from WH Smith. These are using a gift card that I got for Christmas, so they count as gifted books in my collection, meaning that although my TBR count goes up with these books, if my TBR count was over it wouldn't count. So I got Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher because I loved the Dreamland Billionaires series by her, and I believe that this one's really good and it's her newest release, so I'm very excited about it. And then I also finally picked up Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, and this one was one that I really wanted to pick up because I own Wildfire by her, and I don't think I put together that because they were in the same kind of disconnected universe, because they're interconnected standalone romance stories, so because of that I wanted to read this one before I read Wildfire, so I ended up picking up both of these. Also, they looked so cute together with their spines because they're both like purple shades. I had 1 pre-order to come this month, but it hasn't arrived, so I'm not going to count it on the TBR count. It'll be counted for February. I pre-ordered House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J Maas, as I'm sure everyone would know from my absolute love for the Queen. I really love her writing. Dying to read the 3rd and final book in this series here. This is the Crescent City series by her. I absolutely love her writing. I'm so excited for this. Now let's get on into the books that I have read this month. So I started off the month by reading Court of the Vampire Queen by Katie Roberts. I got this gifted to me at Christmas by Luke. I have been wanting to read this book for so long. Now, this is a fantasy romance, or sold as a fantasy romance. Now, there is a lot of smut in Katie Roberts' writing, and I say this all the time when I review her books, or I said it on my Fable review, because I have been reviewing the books on my Fable app, but yeah, a lot of people on Fable actually agreed with me with my review of this book, and that was that there was just the plot and the smut just weren't very well balanced. At the beginning of the book there was lots and lots of smut, which is fine. If that's your choice, it's fine. But then kind of like for three quarters of the book, and then the last quarter had more plot in, but then the plot was so rushed because there had been so much time spent with the smut, and that's fine, but I feel like the balance just wasn't there for me. I felt like I went into this expecting more of like a fantasy with romance elements in, and less of a romance with some fantasy elements in, if that makes any sense. After that I went into something completely different, complete like genre change, seriousness change, and I read The Sad Ghost Club 3 by Liz Meddings. This is a graphic novel series that follows some little ghosties, and they literally are ghosties, and there is just great mental health representation in these books. I own the first two as well, and I think this is the last one. I'm counting this as a finished series at the moment because it is finished from what I know. But yeah, I love this. I always say this, the mental health rep in here is so good, and also it's just so easily digestible, so like unoffensive. It's really, I don't know how to explain it to you, but it just focuses on that kind of behavior and the way we act. And if you ever struggled with any type of mental health, I would definitely recommend you read this. But also, if you haven't struggled with mental health, I would definitely recommend you read this, because I think it is quite enlightening, because you might realise something about a friend or a loved one that you didn't notice, or you don't understand their diagnosis of a mental health problem, and you can kind of see the way that the behaviour of these ghosts portray them, and it can kind of make you feel like, oh my gosh, that's my friend, I recognise them in that character, this is what I can do to help them. I gave this one, I think it was 4 stars that I gave it. I've given the other 2 5 stars. Sorry if you can hear seagulls. I've given the rest of these 5 stars. The reason why is because I just didn't feel as connected to these characters. They are the same characters we had in the first 2, but I just didn't feel as much like emotional connection to the story as I felt in the previous volumes. Then I read, honestly, an amazing book. I read Kingdom of the Curse by Carrie Maniscalco. I really loved this one. I am just so obsessed with this. Like, I'm obsessed with this series so much right now. I am in through my head with this. I loved this book so much. I didn't love the first book that much, so I was kind of a little bit kind of anticipating, I guess, going into this book, because I wasn't sure. This could be like the make or break. I either don't like this series or I do. I felt like the first book was good. I think I gave it 3 stars, but it was good, but it wasn't great on my radar. Like, it wasn't on my radar to like, oh, I really want to read it next. But recently I'd really been feeling like picking up Kingdom of the Curse, because I missed the characters from the first book, and my goodness, this gave me what I wanted and more. Guys, the end of this book killed me, and I will not lie to you, I have started Kingdom of the Feared, which is the last book in the trilogy, and I actually might die if something doesn't happen between the romance that's going on in this book sometime soon. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. That's what I'm leaving as. I loved this so much. Do you know what? The more and more I think about this book, the more and more I feel like I should have given it 5 stars. I feel like I gave it 4 or 4.5, but I just, oh, I love it. I love the relationships in here. I love Wrath. I can't say his name ever, but I really like him, and I like Amelia too. I really enjoy it. I think our main character, female main character, some people may find annoying because she is a little bit naive, but she was brought up in such a way where she was sheltered from all of these things that she should know that she doesn't, that it's almost kind of like so understandable. Okay, next up I read 3 volumes of manga. This feels kind of cheating because I have watched JJK. I've watched the manga. No, I've watched the anime of JJK quite a few times now. So I read volumes 0, 1 and 2 of the JJK manga. I will say this manga is very accurate to the anime. However, I learned so many more things when reading the manga. I definitely picked up more things than I ever did in the anime. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because like in the anime you just like consume 20-minute episodes after another, so you don't really focus on each individual episode as much as maybe you would when you're reading it like this. But yeah, I really enjoyed these. These were like, 2 of them were like a weekend read for me, and then one of them was just like a random, I felt like picking it up kind of read. But yeah, really enjoyed these. I knew I was going to enjoy them though. I think I rated them all 4 or 5 stars. Next up I read Make Me by Tessa Bailey, and this is such a short book. This is the last novel in the Broken Beautiful novel series by her. This is a really nice, easy, short read. I think I gave it 3 stars. It was fine. Yeah, I will say there were a couple of things that pissed me off in here. Like, I enjoyed their relationship, but our male in here was just so handsy. And it was just kind of frustrating to see a little bit of controlling behaviour that was possibly a little bit concerning to see it romanticised. I'm not normally someone who can say things like that because of course I read dark romances, so I can't really talk on this topic that much, but I saw a lot of people on Fable saying that their main problem was the controllingness of Russell in here, and I definitely would agree. In terms of the way the book was written, he felt way too demanding and a little bit controlling. And then the final book that I read this month was Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, which is one of the books that I brought this month that was gifted. I really wanted to read this one. I was really dying to read Wildflower. I ended up reading this one. I did really enjoy it. I think I gave it 4 stars. Loved the dynamic between the two. I really hated, like absolutely hated, Aaron in this book. Like, why is he such an arse? Like, I just don't get it at all. Like, so unbelievably rude, so unnecessarily selfish, and just, I don't know, he just did a lot of things that annoyed me. I will also say that I think a lot of people give way too much of the synopsis on this book, and it pissed me off a little bit because as I was reading it, I kind of knew what was going to happen already, because the things that people are telling you on kind of booktube and book talk and Instagram are things that happen like 200 pages into the book, and that just kind of frustrated me a little bit. And then also there's this whole thing where our main female character is really great at communicating her feelings. And I will say, this is more told to us than shown to us. Kind of almost repeatedly, it's always brought up, oh, I love how she's so good at communicating her feelings. And I just felt like, I don't know, I don't normally pick up on things like this, but it just really irked me how many times it was brought up that she's such a good communicator. But I was like, I don't need people to say that as her personality or at what she's good at. I just need that to be shown in the book. And I do think it was shown in the book, but it also just didn't need to be brought up so many times that it almost felt like it was being forced upon you. Again, I have a Fable review for this book, so I will just pop it up. And then I am currently leaving January reading 2 books. I say currently leaving like it's not the 1st of February when I'm filming this. So one of them I've already showed you, and that was Kingdom of the Feared by Carrie Maniscalco. I am currently reading this. And I'm also currently reading Twisted Games by Anna Huang. I actually took the price ticket off because my mum leaves them on from the works, but I am up to part 2 in this book, which is page 185, which is chapter 21 of this book. I almost forgot to tell you guys, we've gone down an extra 2 books as well in the TBR count if you're curious. This is because I have decided to not finish the Cinder series by Marissa Myers. I started it in 2021, I think, which is a long time ago, and I read the first 2 books. I never continued, and I downloaded those books on Kindle, and I just have never felt the drive to read them. So I have decided to unhaul them from my Kindle and save myself some storage. So those are all the books that I'm currently reading or leaving the month reading, and I finally finished off my little jar. I will put up on the screen what our TBR count is. I thought at the end of these videos, just to have a little bit of fun, I might regret this in a couple of months' time, but for now it seems like fun, so let's do it. I have written my whole TBR on brown piece of paper. I say my whole. The TBR that's on my TBR trolley, which is the TBR that I choose from every day when I'm choosing a book to read, I have put them all into this glass jar. As you can see, there's quite a lot of slips of paper. Majority of my TBR is on my TBR trolley. Now, I want to have some sort of reward system in place if I pull out a book in here that I've read from my TBR trolley already. There'll be like a reward. I don't know what that reward will be. Maybe it'll be I can buy a book or something like that, but yeah. So every single book from my TBR is in here, and then I have 5 free passes. So 5 free passes means that I just get to choose my whole TBR the whole month. But I thought this would be a fun way for me to randomly choose one book, and it might be a more challenging book from my TBR, or it might be a book that I'm really excited to read. It doesn't matter, but what I was thinking is that it would be a great way for me to at least get round to some of these books that I keep putting off and putting off and putting off, because in putting them off, I'm not even giving them a try. And at the end of the day, if I try them and I don't like them, I can DNF them and I can give them to someone who's going to love them. So let's give it a shake. And open this. I'm gonna close my eyes. I've got one. That's a really small one, which makes me scared that you guys see it first. Let's see. Is it upside down? Is it upside down? It's upside down. You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry. Okay, that's not a bad one at all. You're sat on my TBR trolley at the moment. One sec. That's a good one. Do you know what? This is the last Henry that I have to read that is currently published, I believe. So that's quite an exciting one to pull. I'm quite excited. That makes me happy. Okay, so this month in February, actually it's such a cute book to get for February because it's romance month, isn't it? Because it's Valentine's Day. So in the month of February, I will be reading You and Me on Vacation, or at least attempting to read. So I have to try and read this in the month of February. That is going to be the first book on my February TBR. So February, just a sneak peek, should hopefully have these 3 books in if I finish all 3. So that is everything for today's video. I'm really happy with our final TBR count, which will be on the middle of the screen now for you all to see. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, would like to see more videos from me, and I'll catch you guys all in my next one. Bye!